What's going on, Blues? Welcome back to Life as an Evertonian, and this is our pre-match preview for the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers tomorrow night at 7:30 at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Back at home, Blues. The second game in quick succession. We've obviously got the FA Cup tie as well at the weekend, and what can we expect from this one, Blues? We need to find a way of bouncing back. Obviously, the performance on Sunday was below par. So many mistakes in the side, fundamentally, from the centre halves. Tarkowski, Adam Mer, Michael Keane. For me, I didn't feel like he looked right. Moises said that he came through it fine. We just looked vulnerable. We were at sixes and sevens, and we need to find the performance that we did at Old Trafford, the ilk of performance that we did against Nottingham Forest, especially because Tarkowski on that night, it was his best game this season. Now, Wolverhampton Wanderers, they found a little bit of form. Marginally got beat against Liverpool 2-1. They got a result at Old Trafford, 1 apiece, and they've just beat West Ham. They're a team that play 3 at the back, wing backs technically. So for us, we need to get that midfield right. We can't afford to be having Dwight McNeil in there as a 10. He doesn't do enough. He doesn't offer enough in terms of protection and helping the other centre halves in terms of Jimmy Gardner and Timmy Aburam. We need to rip up that script now, and I mentioned this in the last piece of content that I've done. Jake O'Brien at right back has run its course. I understand we play Mikalenko at left back, but we need something a little bit more dynamic down the right-hand side. Now, if he doesn't want to make the risk again with Nathan Patterson, I don't see why he shouldn't. But if he doesn't want to, then for me, I'd like to see Jimmy back at right back. You might not agree with me on this, Blues, but I think Everton are a better team with Jimmy at right back. Listen, we need him at centre mid. Of course we do. But I think by having Harrison Armstrong back, we could potentially play him in there with Timur Aburam and Merlin Roll as a 10. I think Jimmy would improve Tyler Diblin on the right-hand side. You could go with Jake O'Brien and Tarkowski, or Jake O'Brien, Michael Keane, or I understand Tarkowski, Michael Keane, Mikalenko, play Jared on the bench. Sorry, not Jared, Jake O'Brien on the bench. But I would like to see the partnership. I know Michael Keane's had a cracking season. He's been really good, but I'd like to see the Forest partnership, Tarky and Jake. Mikalenko at left back, and Jack Grealish on the left, and Tieno Barry up top. That's what I would go for. I understand you're rolling the dice a little bit more, but we've seen what Jimmy's done at right back. In every game that he's played, I feel he just improves Everton. There's a better balance in there. And obviously, I know it's a risk in the centre of the park, but Tim's been doing a decent job. Merlin Roll needs this game time, and for me, Harrison Armstrong just looks like he'd settle in there. So that's what I would do, boys. And if not, then go with Nathan Patterson and put Jimmy in there with Tim and Merlin Roll for me. Or Harrison Armstrong, So I think he's ready to go, Blues. I think he is. He's ready to go. You could potentially try Merlin at right back, but I think obviously Jimmy's got a little bit more experience there. And I guess it's about Nathan Patterson. I thought Nathan Patterson did he did a decent shift against Forest, against Callum Hudson-Odoi. I'm telling you, he's a proper winger, and he caught with him quite well and always looked a threat going forward, always tried to get forward. So it's an important game, this one, Blues. It really is. Obviously, if Everton get the 3 points, we're on 31 points. It uplifts us again going into the FA Cup at weekend. And listen, Sunderland, fantastic side, really good. They've not struggled at all with the amount of players that have gone off to the AFCON. We have. even though there's only been two of ours. They've got about six, something like that. They've just carried on. They've just followed suit from where they've been, and they're finding ways. We're currently not. We are, but then we're not. Again, we're on this roller coaster watching Everton. But these Hill Dickinson results need to pick up. These home performances need to get better. And we need to be switched on, right from the get-go, right from the start. That first whistle, Everton started quite brightly. They did. They started decent against Brentford. The first 10 minutes, they looked good. We had a couple of chances. Dwight McNeil had a shot and a saved, and another one from a corner from Tarkowski. But then as soon as we went 1-0 down, we were just making mistakes all over the pitch. It was a tired display. It was a poor performance. It was a lackluster performance. And, we need to. It's good that this game's come quick, even though we're depleted in terms of the squad. I think this game is good that it's come quick, and we can put it to bed. There's a chance there for us to put it to bed. But listen, it's going to be a tough game again. Wolves have found a little bit of form. I just hope Moyes gets it right. And for me, there's them two scenarios there. It's either Nathan Patterson at right back, and then obviously you can play Jimmy and Timmy Raburam, potentially Harrison Armstrong as a 10, a Merlin role. If he doesn't choose to play Jimmy there, then, or Nathan Patterson. And then obviously, you can play Jimmy then in centre mid with Timmy Raburam and choose between Merlin role and Harrison Armstrong. So I just want to see that. There's two scenarios there for me. Either of them I'll be happy with. And it's nothing against Jake. I'd love to see Jake at centre half with Tarky. That partnership against Forest, I want to see that. I just think it gives us a better balance. We've obviously heard David Moyes today in the press conference. He's been asked, obviously, about signings. He played it down at first, and then he talked about it a little bit more. I think it is important for us to bring in some players, Blues. I really do. I know, obviously, end of Jan, we've got Idrissa Gana Gueye returning, be a big plus. And obviously, Iliman Ndiaye, a massive plus for us. So important for us down that right-hand side. But I'm hoping Tyler Dibling can come back in and find the level of performance that he did away to Forest. And, he did all right against Burnley as well. I wanted him to build on that. But unfortunately, he didn't. But none of them did. None of them did. Moyes made that decision to just hurl him off with Dwight McNeil, put Beto on, Merlin Roll on, played Merlin Roll over to the right-hand side. That didn't really work. It kind of worked in terms of getting Everton getting on the score sheet on two occasions with Tieno Barry and Beto. I do wonder sometimes if you could play Tieno Barry just behind Beto, but you kind of got to choose the right game to try that. Would the FA Cup be too much of a risk? If we can sneak through the FA Cup and get a good result, we've got every chance once everybody's back. The likes of Keenan Dewsbury Hall and Iliman Ndiaye and Idrissa Gana Gueye. We've got Jared Branthwaite to come back as well, Blues. So there's players to return. I'm hoping that we're still going to be active in this window. We need to try and get the 3 points tomorrow night. I think it's important that we do. But we've got to understand it's going to be a tough game. I understand that Everton are on this roller coaster. By no means do I like being negative, but that performance were a negative performance, and I have to address it as I see it and say it as I see it. But this club, this Everton team at the minute, this squad is stretched. Moyes is limited with options. But for me, I'm going to say it again. I hope it's one of those two options that Moisey goes for. And we're all going to be looking for that team sheet, aren't we? We're going to be waiting and seeing what he decides to go with. And we hope for the best, Blues. So I'm going to leave this one there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to turn on post notifications. Um, all my links to my social media pages are in the description. We've got a brand new Facebook page as well. If you're on there, go and check it out. And yeah, I'm going to leave this one there, boys. Up the toffees, and I'll see you tomorrow night in the next one.